tell you what, one of these weeks, I will actually get the Thursday game correct. And here's the funny thing. Last week on Thanksgiving, I actually got 2 of the 3 games right. Even the Bengals. I picked the Bengals to beat the Ravens. Got that upset pick. I picked the Cowboys to beat the Chiefs. I got that pick. But it was the first game on Thursday. The first game every week. I just can't nail that first game. One, before this season is over, I swear to Christ, I will get a Thursday game right. I will do it. I will do it. I will do it. I will do it. I will. Positive affirmation. And welcome everybody to the Friday forecast right here on Stay Tuned Sports. I'm your boy King, hanging out with you here on this chilly but beautiful Friday. Well, chilly up here in the Northeast anyway. It's chilly in most parts of the country. Are we in that polar vortex that they're always talking about? Are we in a polar tornado? I don't know, but it's cold. That's all I know. And it's fun. But thank you so much for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports. As I mentioned before, if you like any part of this broadcast, like we had last night, Jimbo surprised us with a little surprise visit from your good friend Jimbo, watching the Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions. I thought the Cowboys on the upswing. I thought Detroit on the downswing. I'm like, hey, this seems like a pretty easy game to pick right now. And of course, it's not. Still, there was, 74 points scored last night. Surprisingly boring because of the officials and all the flags they decided to throw. But still, was a fun game. Dallas made it close in the end, but just couldn't. Finish it off. That is some burps there. I am having, not sponsored here, but I am having some of the Coca-Cola Holiday Creamy Vanilla. 0 sugar, obviously, since I am a diabetic. And so we're going to make sure that we just keep that there. But, it's very good. I don't have the coffee. I needed some kind of caffeine. I didn't have the coffee, so I got this. It's not bad. It's not bad. And it's the holiday season. It's cold. It feels good. It feels right. Isn't that just delicious? Anyway, if you like any part of this programming, any part of this channel, anything that we do here, hit that like button. I think it helps with the algorithm. We're not even sure. One thing that I know that can help is if you hit that share button, let everybody know that we do exist. That is fantastic as well. And, of course, if you're here for the first time and have not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button as we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers and being monetized here on this wonderful platform known as the YouTube. ELS in the chat says, yo, welcome ELS, great to see you, as we're going to go over these week 14 games and see if we can get some winners here. I've not done poorly this year with the picks. I haven't done as great as I think I could have done. My sister-in-law has done very well. She does that, but she's in a pay league too, so she kind of swaps her picks over. And when you're fighting for money, when you're doing it for money, man, other than just love of the game, I think you take it a little bit more seriously. And I think that's the thing that she's doing as well. So she's currently crushing everybody right now. My brother's doing well in the picks along those lines too. And again, I haven't done poorly, but I could have done better. I think I've done better than a lot of other people. But just I happen to be around certain people that just crush it with the picks all the time. So it's like, I'm kind of screwed here. Big weekend coming up for college football, as we know that. The championship games, I think they start tonight. There's a couple of the lower conferences that are having their conference championship games. Then, of course, tomorrow, the big ones. You got the Big 12 at noon. You've got the SEC, I think, at 3:30. And then at 8 p.m., you've got the Big 10 championship. And then maybe the most consequential game of the day, Duke versus Virginia in the ACC championship, and that might cause the most chaos out of all of the games. So, big games coming up here, very exciting times, and I certainly hope that you're all ready. But enough going on. Oh, by the way, ELS is saying he's drinking Holiday Creamy Vanilla Coke as well. Look at that. We're little soda buddies. We're little soda buddies out there. It's not bad. It is not bad. That 7-Up Shirley Temple's not bad either. You can't find a 0 sugar anywhere, though. You can't find it anywhere. But I did have a sip of the regular one. Just a sip. I know I'm diabetic. I'm not supposed to have it, but I had a little sip. It's very good. Obviously, it would be better to throw a little vodka in there, make it a little dirty, Shirley. Got to make it a little dirty, Shirley. It'd be pretty good. But that's pretty good. This holiday creamy vanilla Coke, it's growing on me. It's growing on me. It is actually not bad. Eli saying, oh, yes, the Sun Belt and the American Conference Championship games today. That's it. We got Tulane and North Texas. One of them, it seems like one of them is going to get into the college football championship playoffs there, as well. Maybe JMU as well, depending on how the things break down. Do they deserve to be? That's the question. And people might be upset that they'll be in, and either Notre Dame or Miami or BYU or maybe Alabama. I don't know. I think that still could be a possibility. I doubt it. The committee's not going to do that. They've got SEC people there, and the SEC people are probably putting bribe money underneath tables and all that other kind of stuff. And if you don't think that's happening, you're crazy. So I think there are possibilities there of chaos, but imagine being one of those teams on the outside and you get to see JMU or Tulane or North Texas be playing in the college football playoff. That's gonna be a little hard to take. That's gonna be a little hard to take. But anyway, enough dilly-dallying, enough of all of that stuff. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at what we have here for Week 14. Lloyd in the chat, he says, thoughts on last night? Again, I think it was good to see the Lions offense play well. I know Lloyd is a Lions fan, so we'll focus on that. I think the Lions offense played well. Again, Cowboys defense, you let the Cowboys, still put 30, what was it, 30? They put 30 up on you because it was 44-30, I believe. Yeah, so it was 74 points. So, I mean, you still put, your defense, I think, still needs work. Aiden Hutchinson played well, got a lot of pressure. He's played how he's not the leading candidate for comeback player of the year. Apparently, Dak Prescott is. Aiden Hutchinson turned his leg into a whip and has come back this year and played so well. Aiden Hutchinson should 100% be the comeback player of the year. So I think there's still things to worry about when it comes to the Lions. And, it's a win. So you take that win. You stay on pace there in the North to stay with the Packers and stay with the Bears. But I would be worried. And, yes, the Brian Branch injury, losing him for the year with the Achilles injury, horrible, massive blow to a defense that was already kind of shaky. So we'll see what happens in the future here with the Detroit Lions. But you got to be able to go ahead and, it's going to happen. Look at what San Francisco's been able to do, even with all of their injuries. Let's hope that for the Lions, it's a next man up mentality. And with Dan Campbell there, it seems like that it would be that. And ELS brings up the same point I did. Offense, it was good to see them kind of click again, look good. Gibbs looked great. Montgomery, I think you got to give Montgomery the ball a little bit more. Amon-Ra St. Brown seems to have gotten back into the rhythm, even with having the leg injury. Played well last night. So that's the positive I would take from that, is that the offense looks good. Defense, I think, still needs a little bit of work, although Hutchinson, yeah, man, that guy is still great. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look here at our picks for Week 14. Of course, I had picked Dallas last night. As I said, I thought they were on the upswing. I think Detroit was on the downswing. I was like, oh, yeah, no, that'll be great. Again, just can't win the first week. I just can't win the first game of the week. Sorry. Can't win the first game of the week at all this season. So that is what it is. The next game we have listed up there is, let me go ahead and pull this over here. Why is this all wonky on me? Don't get wonky on me. All right, is the Seattle Seahawks and the Falcons. Not going to spend too much time on that one. We are going with the Seattle Seahawks. Again, the Falcons and Kirk Cousins, maybe they'll be better with Cousins. Maybe they're playing a little bit better. I don't know. But Seattle right now is one of the best. They're one of my top teams in the power rankings. Going with Seattle. Again, like I said, not too much time on this game. Pittsburgh and Baltimore, the battle of mid. And who gets to get the lead in the division, who really deserves it, I don't even know at this point. Baltimore had a chance to really get a stranglehold against a bad Bengals team, a bad Bengals defense. And here's the thing. Joe Burrow came back, and he played well, and the offense played well enough. But what you have, that Baltimore, that Bengals defense is not good. And Lamar Jackson still could not get anything going against that Bengals defense. Are we getting playoff Lamar in the regular season now? It seems like it. If you look at the numbers of the last couple games here, he has not played well. I don't understand it. They need to make a turnaround. Now, again, I think Pittsburgh's defense is a travesty, is a shame. And the game they played against Buffalo last week was atrocious. Across the board, offense, defense, special teams, not great. But the Steelers' defense, as bad as they've played, are still better than the Bengals' defense. They've got Mason Rudolph starting, so I don't know about that. Again, Aaron Rodgers and his wrist injuries, we don't know how long he's going to be out or playing for. This seems like it should be an easy pick for the Ravens, but I don't know. Like, this one is really tough. Do I go with the Steelers and just on the defense? I will believe in Baltimore for one more week. Both of these teams are 6-6. The North is maybe the weakest division outside of the NFC South, but even that, like, it's a race to the bottom when it comes to those two divisions. I'm gonna go with Baltimore, but boy, it feels like if Lamar has another game like he's had these last couple ones. Titans and Browns. Again, Shedeur hasn't impressed. I like Cam Ward, but the rest of that team is awful. The Browns at least have the defense. We're going to go with Myles Garrett and the Browns to go ahead and get another win. 95% of the people picking the Browns as well. Now we have the game. Boy, the Colts have to stop the bleeding. They have to stop the bleeding. This is a big game here. They're playing in Jacksonville. It's their bugaboo team in the bugaboo place that they can never win in, down there in Duval County. There at Everbank Stadium, Gator Bowl, whatever you want to call it. It's been called Alltel Stadium. Remember it was Alltel Stadium when it first got renovated? Whatever it is. The Colts, that's been a den of nightmares for them. They've played not as well these last couple games as we've noticed with the Colts. They've lost, I think, two of their last or three of their last four, something of that nature. Daniel Jones, for as well as he played in the start of the season, the last couple games in the fourth quarter, he has disappeared. He has not been great. And again, he's a tough son of a bitch, playing with a broken goddamn leg. We all understand that. We know that. Can the Colts offense turn it around? Can Daniel Jones turn this around and get the Colts back on track and on top of the division over the Jaguars? This is a huge game. If the Colts lose this game, it feels like the Colts probably are not going to make the playoffs. That's what it feels like now. And earlier on, a couple weeks ago, that didn't seem like that was going to be the case. It feels like that now. It feels like if the Colts don't win this game, they may not make the playoffs and maybe probably won't make the playoffs. The Jaguars, on the other hand, God, yeah, they're 8-4. They're still inconsistent as shit, though. Both these teams 8-4. This is such a huge game. It is in Jacksonville. I'm going to go against everything in my nature that says pick the Jaguars. Despite their inconsistent play, despite Trevor Lawrence not playing that well, I'm going to go against everything in my nature. And I'm going to go with the Colts to turn it around. Is it just me rooting for Daniel Jones? Maybe. Is it just me having a bit of that bias? Probably. But I think this is a game where you can have Jonathan Taylor get back on track. Have Daniel Jones settle it down. Just settle it down. Keep composure. Got to keep your composure. Can't be panicking out there. Like Frank the Tank would say from old school. You got, because this is do or die now. If they lose this game, I feel like, kind of like how I do with the Chiefs after they lost the Cowboys game. It feels like, okay, that might be a wrap on it. If the Colts lose this game, it'll be a wrap. So I think backs against the wall, they will come out with the victory in the place that they need to. And if they can do that, if they can snap that kind of jinx that they have against Jacksonville in Jacksonville, that can go a long way with getting Indianapolis to the playoffs and probably, hopefully, we'll see how things go with the Texans into the division championship. But we will see. Lloyd in the chat, he says the Jaguars are inconsistent, but the Colts need to clot the wound right now. And I agree with that 100%. And given how the Jaguars are inconsistent in quarters, it might It might swarm the Colts. It might. Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's like, again, this feels like a game where it's this is a super important game for both, because again, you're talking about tiebreakers too. I think they still have. Do they have another game to play against each other? I don't know if they played again yet this year. But I mean, this is such a super important game, divisional game. Again, both teams have the same record. Indianapolis has to win this game. They have to win this game. I'm going to go with them right now. Next up, the Washington Redskins against the Minnesota Vikings. Are they playing Bosmer again? Is it going to be McCarthy? I don't care either way. This Vikings team is just lost. I like their defense. I like Brian Flores, but you can't do anything about it without a quarterback. And again, they have all the talent in the world around their quarterbacks there with J.J. McCarthy and with Bosmer, but they just can't do anything. They just can't do anything. And Washington, Mariota, what they did against Denver last week looked good. I'm going to go with Washington. 52% of the people picking the Redskins. I like it. I'll go with them because I can't trust the Vikings. And I can't trust the Vikings. ELS says it sounds like JJ for this week. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when it comes to the Vikings. Whether it was J.J. McCarthy, whether it was Bosmer, I don't think either one of them are going to pull the victory out here. Miami against the Jets. Jets wearing their rivalry Gotham City football uniforms, whatever the hell it is, trying to act tough. You're not tough. You're 3-9. You're not that great. The Dolphins 5-7, looking to go to, and don't make the joke, they're looking for 6 wins and 7 losses. We're not even going to say those two numbers in concurrence with each other. But the Dolphins looking for 6 wins, 7 losses on the season, and still wouldn't be out of the playoff picture. They've been playing a lot better. The Jets have won their last couple games by hook or by crook, by weird means if you want to talk about it. However it's been, they've won. They're playing at MetLife. It is the cold. Dolphins looking to kind of break that, hey, below 42 degrees, we suck, curse. And I think they will, because I just can't trust the Jets. I'll go with the Dolphins. They've been playing better as of late. Not great, but better as of late. Give me the Dolphins. Saints and Buccaneers. Again, I like the Saints. They're going to give the Buccaneers everything they can handle down there in Tampa Bay. And I really do love watching the Saints play football. I'm going to go with the Buccaneers. I think just the amount of talent is going to outweigh what the Saints can put out there. But I think the Saints are going to give Tampa Bay all they can handle, going to give them headaches, going to give them fits. But at the end of the day, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will end up with the win. I'm sorry, Pecan. Again, I do love your Saints. I do love them. But I do think that the Buccaneers come out on top. Bengals, Buffalo, and this one turned out, this one's actually going to be pretty interesting. This was going to be interesting. The Bengals coming off that win against the Ravens. Can Joe Burrow lead them to another victory? Can this Bengals defense stop Josh Allen? Maybe. Buffalo's another one of those teams that they gotta start looking to how are they gonna start playing. They're 8-4. The Bengals are 4-8. And as surprising as it is, the Bengals at 4-8 are not out of the division race. They're only 2 games out. And depending on what happens in this game and in the game with the Ravens and Steelers, they could be right there still in the hunt for the AFC North. I'm going to go with the Bills. They're at home. Josh Allen will find a way to beat the Bengals. But, again, this one turns out to be a lot more interesting. And, boy, if Buffalo loses this game, now you got to be really worried if you're a Buffalo Bills fan. And this game most likely will kill the Bengals season. But we will see. I think it's going to be a fun one. I think it's going to be an interesting one. I think it's going to be a lot closer than maybe some of the experts think out there. But I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills. Broncos and Raiders, and I don't like the Broncos. I think they're the weakest 10-2 team in the history of the NFL, but they're playing the goddamn Raiders, and I don't want to talk about the Raiders at all. Denver, we're moving on. This one is one we're going to be covering right here on Stay Tuned Sports. The Bears and the Packers. Go Pack, go. Up at Lambeau Field, the Bears leading the division at 9-3. The Packers right behind them at 8-3-1. Big game for a lot of people, not just the Packers, not just the Bears, Lions fans that will be watching too. Lloyd is saying that as well. This is going to be a huge game for both of these teams and for the division at large. And I got to tell you, there's something about it. I'm sorry. There's just something about it. It feels like the team that feels like they can win, that believes that they can win no matter what, is going to find a way to come out and win. And that's why I'm going to pick the Bears. I'm picking the Bears over the Packers in this game. I know ELS is not going to be happy about that. I understand he's going to be upset. But it just feels like the Bears are that team of, hey, even if we're down, if we're not playing well. And they just went into Philadelphia, and they just stuffed Monangai and Swift down the Eagles' throats like an old school double team. Eiffel Tower, baby. They just did that to the defending Super Bowl champions. And a defense that is considered pretty well, especially the run defense. So the fact that they were able to go into Philadelphia and do that, I like the Packers. I do like Micah Parsons on there. I think the Packers are a good team. Clearly, you don't win 8 games without being a good team. But I think at the end of this one, they're going to be 8-4-1 instead of 8-3-1, and the Bears will have a significant hold on the top of the NFC North. Bears win. That's my prediction. Next is the Rams and the Cardinals. Came out today. Kyler Murray will not be playing again this season for the Cardinals, and it seems like he will not be playing again for the Cardinals as his time as Arizona quarterback is most likely done, and we'll see where he ends up in the offseason. But the Cardinals seem to be moving on from Kyler Murray, but it also seems like they're going to be moving on from the season as well. The Rams, they need a bounce-back game after that stinker they had in Carolina, and it feels like, boy, they're fronting into the right team. I like Jacoby Brissett. I do like my Desert Birds. I really do. But they are 3-9. They are not playing well. I mean, they're playing better than I think they would have if Kyler Murray was in there, but they're still not playing well. Give me the Rams. Bounce-back game. They will win. Then Sunday night, the Houston Texans taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Boy, if Kansas City was ever in desperation mode, it is now 6-6 on the outside of the playoff bubble. They are 6-6. They got no chance, I believe, at the division at this point. Even if everything kind of falls their way, it'll take a miracle for them to win a division. So now it's just about the playoffs, and they are still sitting on the outside looking in Week 14 at the playoff picture. Can the Chiefs get back into it? Again, they're going to be missing most of their offensive line. I believe I just saw reports out there 2 more of their offensive linemen are out, like a massive amount of their offensive linemen are out. It's going to be a tough road, especially against this Texans defense that now they have to go up against with backup offensive linemen. It's going to be a rough one here. You'd like to pick the Chiefs. I'd like to pick the Chiefs because you still see the logo and you're thinking Chiefs. I also think Taylor Swift a lot too, but that's just, that's just me. I always think about Taylor Swift a lot, inappropriately. But I can't do it. The Texans are just playing too well right now on defense. The offense still leaves a little bit to be desired, but all that being said, I think they go into Arrowhead and they're going to pull out the victory. And if the season wasn't dead before, it will be now. Give me the Texans over the Chiefs to end their season already here in Week 14. Not officially, but pretty much the Chiefs season will be done. And then Travis can go off into the sunset, have his wedding with Taylor, and then, who knows? Probably the eventual sex tape will come out or something. Who knows? Oh, my God, King, don't say that. It's disgusting. That's so disgusting. I know. I love it. Well, I hope not. Well, we hope not. We keep everything private. It's nice. It's nice. Yeah, but would prove the Redwood rumors true or false, one way or the other. I mean, we'd find out. We would find out. We'd know. Monday night, the Philadelphia Eagles at 8-4, trying to get back on track, going up against the Chargers. Goal, Chargers, goal. This feels like it should be a get-right game for the Eagles. Again, the Chargers are, again, talk about inconsistent teams. They're up there with the Jaguars as being one of those inconsistent teams. Not very consistent, not very on top of the ball, if you will. Can the Eagles fix whatever damage is going on inside that locker room, inside their own building, go out to SoFi and get a win against the Chargers? Again, it'll probably be mostly Eagles fans out there, as most games are at SoFi. It's mostly opposing teams' fans that will go and show up. I can't believe in the Eagles right now. I'm sorry. I'm going to go with the Chargers. I'm going to go with the Chargers. Basically an upset here. I'm going to go with the Chargers to get the win over the Eagles. And maybe this is a little bit of the Giants bias of me. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. But it feels like It feels like the Eagles can't do it. By the way, Paul says King is definitely obsessed with Taylor Swift. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. A little bit. A little bit. You should see the wallpapers that I have on my computer screens. Maybe I'll share a picture of that later in the Discord, which you can go to. By the way, join link down in the description below. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chargers. I think the Chargers go in and get the win against. And boy, if it wasn't loud, they were already throwing eggs at Kevin Patullo's house in Philadelphia. The sports talk radio is losing their minds after that Black Friday game. And their last couple games, they lose against the Chargers Monday night. Ooh, it's going to be loud. Now, the Eagles probably going to win the NFC East by default at this point, but it's still going to be loud, and the Eagles faithful are not going to be happy. Well, it says, Pepper Jack is going to be a little bit worried. No, she knows. She knows. She's the reason. Pepper Jack's the reason I kind of have a little bit of a little obsession thing there with Taylor Swift. Not obsession. It's not a really obsession. It's an interesting curiosity, really. It's just kind of it's a passing curiosity, you know. I like her music. I think she's got very good music. I do like her albums, and she's not bad to look at, to say the least. Kind of like myself. How you doing? Anyway, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is your Week 14 preview and predictions for the NFL coming up here. Again, I think there's a couple of interesting games. Not a lot. There doesn't seem to be a lot of interesting games so far this week. But I think I think we got a good one. I really think we got a couple of good ones. That Bears-Packers game is good. I think the Bears-Packers game is good. Jaguars-Colts is very interesting. I think those are the two most interesting. Steelers-Ravens, if they were better, I think would be more interesting, but they're not, so I'm not. But definitely Jaguars-Colts, and I'll tell you what, Bengals-Buffalo might be interesting as well. I think that's your heat map. I think that those are your exciting games. Those are your gotta watches, I think, right there. I think it's Colts, Jaguars, Bengals, Buffalo, and Bears, Packers. I think those are the real big games here in Week 14. Outside of that, I don't think there's too many. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is indeed the Week 14 preview. We just went ahead and took a look. God, it's been a long day. It's a Friday. It's been a long week. You know, it's the week after Thanksgiving. You're kind of readjusting, getting back to the normal schedules and things like that. So it's all like, oof. Paul in chat says, let's all cheer for Indiana tomorrow to take out the evil Goliath that is Ohio State. I just hate Ohio State, so I will be rooting for Indiana. And again, it feels like Indiana wins, they'll be one, and Ohio State will be two. If Ohio State wins, Ohio State will be one, Indiana will be two. It doesn't feel like there's going to be too much of a shift between those two. So there's really not too much at stake other than bragging rights and just saying, like, we're the Big Ten champion and you're not. But I'd still like to see Indiana win. And also get rid of conference championship games. They don't matter anymore with the college football playoff around. They don't matter. College football needs a massive overhaul. And I put my plan for it in the Discord if you want to go see that. I think I have. I think they should make me commissioner of college football, and I'll make it happen. I will make it happen. I'll make it happen. Anyway, so again, we've got some of those conference games tonight. Like ELS said, we got the Sun Belt and the American. And then tomorrow, noon, you got the Big 12, 3:30. 3 or 3:30, either way, you got the SEC. And then at 8, you got the Big 10. And then maybe the most important game when it comes to the chaos and maybe not chaos and how things are going to play out there in the college football playoff. Duke versus Virginia in the ACC championship. Who would have thought that that's kind of where all the cards lay for so many of these teams? Miami, Notre Dame, BYU, Alabama possibly. We'll see. Kind of depend on what happens between Duke and Virginia. But we will see what happens then. I certainly hope everybody enjoys the rest of their Friday, enjoys the championship Saturday, and we will see you on Sunday at 4:25 for Bears versus Packers. If you liked any part of this show, ladies and gentlemen, please go ahead and hit that like button. Again, I think it helps with the algorithm. I'm not sure. Hit that share button. Let people know that this channel exists. And, of course, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so very much as we are on the road to 1,000 and hopefully being monetized here on this great platform known as YouTube. If you'd like to help us out even further, we have our donation station and merch store links down in the description below, along with the Discord link if you want to go check that out. Small community, very quiet, but you can make it noisy. Go in there, raise some hell. It'll be fun. So until Sunday, when I'll see you next for Bears and Packers, my name is King. This has been a Friday Forecast on Stay Tuned Sports. Everybody, have a great rest of your Friday. I'm going to drink more of this holiday creamy Coke that's just delicious. And probably order some cannabis or something. I have no idea. I'm going to enjoy my Friday. Enjoy yours. Adios!